Okay, all you out there in Videoland, it's a kind of noisy day here in the condo. So I am going to start this, and then if there's anything noisy or bonky or bangy, or it's just a noisy day. It's a Sunday morning. Okay, so here we go. Just gonna pause you while I turn on the sound. Away we go. Good morning and welcome to Social Work Your Life with Kim Beam. Okay, so I was out to breakfast yesterday morning with a friend, and while we were sitting there talking, he was talking about how he was going to be doing a presentation to a bunch of people about not looking at the floor, that it's really easy to look at the floor, and how our eyes just naturally drift down and they don't necessarily want to stay up. Which led me to think about a whole bunch of things very quickly in this conversation. And then I realized this will make a really, really good podcast. So here we go. When I went away on a 5-week silent retreat this past summer, I worked with a massage therapist who's absolutely amazing. Her name is Nima, and she's just, oh my gosh, I love Nima. So Nima told me one day in the cafeteria, she was like, Kim, your posture is a problem. She's like, you're all slumpy. And those weren't her words, but that's my translation of her words now, that you're slumpy and you're scouchy and you need to pick yourself up a bit. And she's like, and I need you to and so she worked with me a little bit, both in session and out of session. And she's like, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that there's a ball of light where your heart is. And I want you to lead with that ball of light. Imagine that ball of light is just shining out and giving that radiant light out. And I was like, okay. And so when I stood and I thought about the ball of light, even if I'm sitting here and I think about the ball of light, my shoulders drop back, my shoulders drop down and back, I should say, and I hold myself up. And I have one of those bumps that so many people have in the back of your neck where you've been sitting at a computer and you're all slunchy and you get that bulge that happens, and then when you pick your head up, your back of your head is still sort of bulgy in the space. She's like, that needs to go too. That's not the proper alignment for your back and your neck. You're not supposed to have a bump there. I was like, oh. So she told me how to pull my chin in and pull my neck in, and then I don't really like that because that gives me a weird flabby bit underneath my chin, and maybe it gives me a double chin, and that's makes me super self-conscious. But if you breathe in and you pull your shoulders back and you pull your shoulders down and you let your neck stand in its natural formation, right? Your air comes in even differently. The way you breathe in becomes different. And then they get the good belly breath going, right? You are perfectly in alignment the way that you were created or meant or whatever your word to be. So this guy was saying it's really easy to look at the floor. I'm like, yeah, it's super easy to look at the floor. So Nima, before she told me, as she was telling me to lead with my heart, she said, Kim, right now, before I started leading with my heart, she's like, you lead with your head. I have my head down and I sort of go forward with my head. And I go with my head into situations. Well, let's be honest. I don't just go with my head into situations, physically, but I also would go with my head into situations. I'd be logic it out. Let me think it out. Let me process it out. Let me think about whether or not this is a good idea on paper, right? I was all about is this the way it should be? And there were decisions that I make with the thoughts of, my heart and my gut, listening to my intuition, right? Those are in there. That happens. But I definitely will look at it with my head too, very much. And I don't always lead situations at work with my heart, and I lead with my head. Well, that doesn't work because of this, or that's not logical because of this, or that's just not possible because of this. Instead of listening with my heart and going, oh, they just need to be heard. Oh, this is one of those circumstances where I just need to give them space to say what they're angry about, and then we can make good progress. Oh, they just need to be seen. Right. Instead of going with my head and listening with my heart, my perspective is even different. I have a different view of the way things are. I have a different view about how I handle situations. And the thing that it has shifted the most, I would say, is my confidence. My confidence is completely different now because of this head-heart experience. I find that when my shoulders are back and down and my neck is in alignment with my spine the way it's supposed to be, and I'm breathing the way I should, and I'm standing upright and I'm standing tall, I feel more self-assured. I feel more peaceful. I feel more okay inside my own skin. I feel my body and appreciate it. I stand bolder. I stand more in my own shoes and caring less about what people think about me, if that makes sense. Instead of looking at myself about how am I coming across right now or how am I being seen, I don't think about any of that. I just think about how good it feels to be fully and wholly present inside myself. Who I am is okay. And this all feels really, really, really good. It feels really good. Opposed to like when I'm leading with my head, there's like with the slumpy shoulders and the shoulders who sometimes crawl up to my ears, there's a level of like, the word that came to my head is unconfidence, but that's not a word. So like, insecurity and like looking to other people to define me and looking for other people to reflect back to me the things that I want to see in myself. And that's not how this life is supposed to be, in my opinion, right? Like this life is supposed to be your soul learning everything you need to learn in this experience. You came into this body to the set of circumstances that you are in specifically to learn. And if I'm constantly wondering what other people are thinking, I don't know. I can't be looking at my own perspective, right? If I'm looking to other people all the time for what they're thinking and being reflected back, it's just not right. Like it's helpful. The mirror of somebody else looking at you is helpful, but it's not everything. And when I'm leading with my head, it was everything. And when I lead with my heart and my chest is down and I'm looking at other people, I'm reading the room differently. I'm reading the room as me, as one person in this room. And I'm actually able to take in other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions with much more clarity, because it's not going through my own garbage first. It's coming at me as a more whole, upright, upstanding person, if that makes sense. So by shifting my posture and thinking about a silver ball of glowy light in my heart space and letting that be the thing that shines out first, I stand up straight. My shoulders go back, my shoulders go down, my neck is in alignment. I stand up tall, I stand up inside myself, and I have a confidence that is exciting. And I like to think I'm radiating this really positive, beautiful, glowy energy out and giving that away. I'm just giving that away as I'm standing here present inside myself. So, as I breathe into this moment, right? Is there anything else to say about this? Is there anything else to say with leading with your heart instead of your head? I don't think so. I think this is all of it. And so it's a short little podcast today. I hope all of you are well and that, we'll talk to you soon.